The energy around the Emirates is changing because after Arsenal's biggest win of the season, the Gunners are showing real promise. But could things be about to get better? Well, today we'll get the massive news regarding Jurrien Timber, as well as Arsenal's new agreement for Fabrizio Romano. We'll break down why he'll end is changing, and discuss a potential move for Rafael Leao. Yo, what is going on, guys? My name is Baz14. Welcome back to Boys Channel, and I hope you guys are sensational as always, because Arsenal are back in the title race and things are getting interesting. So as per, don't forget to smash a like on the video if you do enjoy, and subscribe to the channel if you are new, because your boy is getting closer and closer to 200,000 subscribers. We're starting off with Arsenal's big return. Ahead of Arsenal's massive game against Liverpool, there was breaking news the day before the game, as reports confirmed that Gabriel Jesus was a massive doubt, and Mikel Arteta confirming after the game that Jesus will now be out for a few days. This is not a serious knee injury, and that's the most important part. But Arsenal fans are now asking a question: how reliable is Gabriel Jesus? This now being his third injury of the season. Yet again, another knee issue. This is something that Jesus has history with. Going back all the way to last season, Jesus missed 17 games after a knee surgery after the World Cup. But fast forward to the Liverpool-Arsenal game, and in the 45th minute, you also had Alexander Zinchenko going off with an injury. Since then, Mikel says, with Alex we don't know, because he had some feeling in his calf again and we had to take him off. That for me is a real concern. Over the course of Zinchenko's entire Arsenal career, calf injuries have been a very common theme. This year Mikel Arteta has tried very hard to manage them. Zinchenko is not amazing defensively, but in terms of on the ball, he's Arsenal's most important ball progressor. As the stats show here, no Arsenal player has made more progressive passes this year than Alexander Zinchenko. But Mikel Arteta won't be too worried about the fullback department. Not only did you have a stern cameo from Jakub Kiwior, but you've also got the returning Jurrien Timber. And with the massive games that also have around the corner, especially in the Champions League, and that's where it's been officially confirmed, Jurrien Timber has been included in the Arsenal Champions League squad for the knockout stages. Arsenal fans should be very excited. In terms of profiles, Timber is as close as Zinchenko as it gets, while also being elite defensively. Look at his numbers in the Eredivisie last season. First in terms of touches and passes completed, as well as forward passes, as well as 544 final third passes completed and a 92% passing accuracy. When you get injured in the first league game of the season, your character gets massively tested. But as Jurrien Timber says, these last 3 months have made me definitely stronger. It's an opportunity for me to do well. I've had some time to watch the team and see how they play. How can I fit in when I get onto the pitch? So looking at the positives, I think there have been many. A returning Timber doesn't just improve Arsenal on the pitch, but off the field we are getting a natural leader. A captain of Ajax at 21 years of age. According to Kaya Kayanek, Timber is a part of everything the Arsenal squad do. He attends team meetings, has lunch with the players and staff, and is present in the dressing room before and after every game at the Emirates Stadium. With each game in the stands, Timber is studying his teammates and learning how they play. The prime example being the Liverpool game. Look at the background of this photo and you'll notice, there is Jurrien Timber. But then you've got the news regarding Thomas Partey. Now this guy was closing in to return and set to be a part of the Liverpool squad. Then Mikel Arteta confirmed before the game, Partey's had a little setback a few days ago, unfortunately making him not available. The important context is the type of injury that Partey is returning from, a grade 3 muscular injury. These types of recoveries are very delicate, and getting re-injured is actually very common. But when is he actually going to return then? Charles Watt says, as far as I'm aware he will not be available again this weekend against West Ham, but I've been told that we're not talking about another operation or anything like that. It doesn't look like it'll be a long-term thing, which is good news. Mikel Arteta will recognise though that Arsenal are entering the most important part of their season. The fact that we've only seen Rice and Partey play 3 games all season. Frustration is certainly growing. And speaking of Partey, he says he's always looked very good and strong. That is not the issue, it's the fact that we need him. We need him to be fit and available because he makes us better. We are better with Thomas in the team. Arsenal went massive in the summer for Declan Rice, and this is a major reason why. Not only does he offer on-the-field quality, but it's the fact that he's always available and we get to see it. According to Raya and Taylor of the Express, Thomas Partey is now expected to leave Arsenal at the end of the season after failing to shake off his persistent injury problems. Arsenal have to get on with it regardless, and that's exactly what they've done against Liverpool on Sunday, where Saka and Martinelli got all the headlines, but I want to talk about someone else, the under-radar David Raya. Not only was he fantastic on the ball, but I loved his aggression, with the example in the 10th minute, claiming the ball with such ease, then getting Arsenal onto the counter-attack with a lovely throw to Gabriel Martinelli. He may not be perfect, but the fact that he had no pre-season, replacing a PFA Team of the Year Aaron Ramsdale, going on to keep the joint most clean sheets in the league, we are now seeing a more assertive David Raya. This stat here is so telling. While last year Aaron Ramsdale caught 5.8% of Arsenal's crosses, this year David Raya has caught 15.3%. Arsenal winning that game was massive though because of the title race, where since then you've had Man City beat Brentford 3-1. City moved back into second place above Arsenal, with slightly higher goal difference and a game in hand. But the key part for Arsenal fans is the fact that we're only 2 points off the top. The underlying numbers are very exciting. Looking in terms of the XG goal difference this season, Arsenal have the highest in the league over Man City. Mikel Arteta has been speaking recently about domination. Now we're starting to see that. Not only are Arsenal one of the most successful counter-pressing teams in all of Europe, we are just behind Man City in terms of possession. We are over Liverpool in terms of high turnovers. We are finally starting to turn a narrative. Hearing the comments from Jamie Carragher and Gary Neville after that game, a lot of Arsenal fans saw that as salty, but we have to understand these guys are going to keep doubting. The last 10 years we've seen Pep and Klopp dominate. The only way for Arteta to break the narrative is to get over the line. As Danny Murphy says, I like many have doubted whether Arsenal were going to be able to keep pace with Liverpool and Man City, but I shouldn't have. I was wrong to doubt them. Moving on to Arsenal's new agreements. On transfer deadline day, Arsenal had some new confirmed deals. As Fabrizio Romano confirmed that Arsenal youngster Lino Sosa had signed a contract as a new Aston Villa player on a permanent deal. This was a massive wake-up call for Arsenal, because not only were they losing a player that had so much promise, but it's the reason why he was leaving. Despite being a part of the Arsenal Champions League squads, Sosa was yet to get his first team debut. Not showing a pathway to the first team, it was time for him to move on. That's where Arsenal had to make a shake-up, become more proactive in terms of loans, get these players first team minutes elsewhere, with Leyton Orient confirming the loan arrival of Arsenal young forward Kane Edwards. Then you had another youngster in Charles Sago Jr. confirm a loan deal to Swansea City until the end of the season. Young players understand that when you're playing at a big club, the route to the first team is never simple, but they have to be shown a pathway. That's where you've got young wide forward Armio Kuzia-Dubry. With his contract expiring at the end of the season, Fabrizio Romano confirms Arsenal are still in negotiations to get a new deal done for English young forward Armio Kuzia-Dubry, and talks are ongoing. But the likes of Dortmund, Ajax, Anderlecht, Wolves and Newcastle are all showing interest for a free transfer in June, in case the Arsenal talks collapse. This is a player that profiles very similar to Bukayo Saka. Explosive out wide, Kuzia-Dubry has 7 goals and 2 assists this season, in only 13 academy appearances. Look at the names of the clubs that are after him, teams that have fantastic talent ID. If Arsenal want to keep Kuzia-Dubry, they have to show him a pathway, either a route into the first team, or a loan deal to get him the experience he needs. You've also got returning Takehiro Tomiyasu, involved for Japan in the Asia Cup, but knocked out in the quarterfinals to Iran. Simon Collins confirms Tomiyasu is now back at Arsenal and could feature on Sunday against West Ham. But Tomiyasu has also been a man in demand and his long-term future has been intriguing, with reports in Germany claiming that Bayern Munich might make an offer this summer. A Fabrizio Romano exclusive now confirms though that Takehiro Tomiyasu's new deal at Arsenal has now been agreed and sealed. The Japanese defender is set to sign a new long-term contract at the club. Decision wanted by both board and Arteta, as there was never any chance for Tomiyasu to leave in January. Announcement will now follow soon. Set to receive a massive pay rise for his current £55,000 a week contract. As Simon Collins says, Tomiyasu is highly valued by Mikel Arteta, who considers him among the best one-on-one defenders in the squad. We've seen this guy pocket Mo Salah, but also act like a Swiss army knife. Left back, right back and centre back. It's very much the perfect deal for Arsenal, because his profile is so unique. You've also got rumours coming out of the Serie A regarding the future of Rafael Leao. According to Foot Mercato, Rafael Leao believes it's the end of his cycle at AC Milan, and his priority is to move to the Premier League or La Liga. With 3 goals and 6 assists this season, Leao's form hasn't been outstanding. His numbers have still been very consistent, constantly dropping green 7 out of 10 ratings. No player in the entire Serie A has created more big chances than Rafael Leao this season. We are talking the 2022 Serie A MVP, after helping Milan win the Scudetto, despite signing a new deal only a few months ago. According to ESPN, you've even got PSG for identifying Rafael Leao as a replacement for Kylian Mbappe, who is set to leave and join Real Madrid. This guy's profiles will see some crazy comparisons. Over 6 foot tall, pacey and powerful, some people have compared him to the profile of Thierry Henry. And when you see things like this, the way he bursts past players so effortlessly, Leao has spoken in the past in terms of the Premier League, and says yes, I see myself there in the future, but now I'm 100% focused on Milan. I'm at a top club and under contract, but I've seen a lot of games this year and I like Arsenal. I think they play very well. But then you have to ask the question, if Arsenal can sign one marquee forward this summer, should it be an out-and-out striker like Victor Osimhen, or a potential world-class profile like Rafael Leao? A massive part of Mikel Arteta's next evolution is box presence, trying to find Arsenal's difference maker inside the box. There was one player that had the presence against Liverpool. We're talking about Kai Havertz. The prime example being the first Arsenal goal. Notice how Havertz was able to drop deeper to open up space, moving Liverpool's man-to-man press, then arriving into the perfect space at the perfect time. But it's the fact that he keeps getting into those areas time and time again, to why Mikel Arteta is turning to him in the big games. Havertz as a striker causes chaos, but against Liverpool he lost a total of 18 duels. No player in the Premier League has lost more this season, but it's all about the way he contests it. By being so tall, Havertz will always cause issues. The example being this against Liverpool. Konate is able to win the header. Havertz being there is enough to make his clearance poor, allowing Arsenal to pick up the second pieces. With the return of Gabriel Jesus around the corner, having seen the impact of Havertz against Liverpool, causing Van Dijk and Konate so many issues, who is he going to trust against West Ham? Moving on to the other Arsenal news today. Arsenal's young Brazilian forward Marquinhos has had a very intriguing season. Loaned out to Liga early in the year, but only making one start. He's returning to the Emirates Stadium now, but not for long. As Fabrizio Romano confirms, Fluminense have agreed a loan deal to sign Marquinhos from Arsenal. A verbal act is now in place and will be completed in the coming days. Marquinhos had already accepted, just waiting on the final formal steps. The deal will include a buy option clause. But what about Albert Sambi Lukonga alone at Luton? Having returned in December after a long-term injury, look at Sambi Lukonga's form. Constant 7 and 8 out of 10 ratings. In Luton's 4-4 draw against Newcastle, Sambi will stand out once again. A 7.2 overall rating with 65 touches, 42 accurate passes and 1 key pass. Sambi won a total of 8 ground duels, alongside 2 clearances, 2 block shots, 2 interceptions and 5 tackles. If Thomas Partey is to leave in the summer, Sambi is still only 24 years of age, with even more Premier League experience now on his back. Lukonga says we'll talk to Arsenal at the end of the season. I still consider myself an Arsenal player. I'm appreciated there by the fans and by the staff. I think I can have a future at Arsenal, but that will depend on my performances at Luton. There's also a potential massive change coming up in the Premier League, as reports have now confirmed that blue cards and sin bins are set to be tried in football, with players shown the card, removed from the pitch for 10 minutes for cynical fouls and dissent. This rule here could really affect Man City. Think about the amount of times Rodri makes cynical fouls time and time again. This is football trying to evolve past that. But do you think blue cards will be worth it? Arsenal's future is getting exciting though, as they are now one of 4 teams in the entire world with a squad value of over €1 billion. A major part of that is Mikel Arteta's elite defence, with Arsenal conceding 0.9 XG per game this season, the least in the league by a country mile. As Jamie Carragher says, 2 of the best teams in the league, Man City and Liverpool, went to the Emirates and never looked like scoring. Look at these insane numbers of the game against Liverpool. Arsenal only giving them 1 shot on target at 0.37 XG. Liverpool only able to win the ball 1 time in the Arsenal final third, while Arsenal won it 8, with Arsenal now having a 28.31 expected goal difference. The question has to be asked now. Last year Arsenal were very exciting to watch, but are we now more complete this season when it comes to Arteta's philosophy of domination? There's a massive game looming over the weekend, as Mikel Arteta's men go to West Ham United. Zinchenko looks to be a doubt, Jesus could return and likewise Tomiyasu, but my focus is on Jorginho. After a man of the match performance against Liverpool, will Mikel Arteta play him once again alongside Declan Rice? As Simon Collins says, Jorginho is a popular player in the Arsenal training ground, mainly because of his upbeat attitude and the fact that he routinely greets people with a huge bear hug. But that is the video there and there. If you have enjoyed, smash a like on it and also subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you want to follow your boy on all of the social medias, then the links are down below in the description. But that was all of today's latest Arsenal news, and as we approach a gargantuan game over the weekend, West Ham United, a win over Declan Rice's former club, and Arsenal's title race could be about to get even more intriguing. So I'll see you very soon, take care of yourselves, and in a bit.